So I got kitchen and laundry room updates. My kitchen's a mess right now because we've been dealing with mice really badly. They've been incognito, but there has been an infestation. There was mice tearing the liquor cabinet up here, and we don't really go into this cabinet very often. It was just destroyed underneath the sink. I cleaned it up as good as I could. Stuff was starting to happen in there, and then what really got my goat was this cabinet where I keep my pots and pans was starting to get a lot of mouse poop around it. I've already cleaned that cabinet out twice, bleached the shelves, washed every pot, pan, and lid, and then I started noticing this other stuff and just thought, you know what? Yeah, so we got poison out, which I don't like poison because the mice just end up dying and then they rot and smell somewhere, and that's gross. Some rodent repellent that I got put in the cabinets now. There's some traps, there's some sticky traps, and we've had a lot of luck with the sticky traps, and it looks like they've been eating on the poison blocks. So another thing that the mice did was we got this pretty new Whirlpool Cabrio set used off of a gentleman in Providence for $600. And the mice had taken one of my LECA balls, put it underneath the drum, and it kept saying uneven load. Ended up having to turn the washing machine upside down to get the LECA balls out, and water got into the circuit board, and it just, yeah, we were done with that washer. So this is a brand new washer. I'm catching up with laundry, catching up with cleaning. It's just a lot right now. And then on top of that, we've got canning more tomatoes, this tomato juice and tomato sauce. And then I made green chili chicken soup. That's what this is, and it's really good. We're gonna have some of this for lunch, and then the rest is over here ready to can up. And then Chad is making his beef vegetable soup, and this time he is using a chuck roast instead of ground beef, and we are going to test it out. So that's what we'll have for dinner. This is lunch, dinner, and then when the leftovers I'm going to put in jars, and I'll just can both recipes together. That way it saves on propane. That's what's going on today. More of the tomatoes in the garden are dying. I can take you out there here in a bit and show you, and I got to start weeding and preparing for the fall garden because most of my seeds have germinated and are doing really good. Like this is dill, and then Brussels sprouts, Long Island improved. And then there's scarlet kale, some Johnny Jump Up violas, and I'm gonna start moving some of this stuff down there. I'll look at my neglected, my neglected row. Spinach, what variety is that? Merlot Nero. Yeah, look, I'm successfully growing spinach for like the first time ever. It's great. Then these are, gosh, what is this? I don't know. I didn't label them. I think that's Groninger's Brussels sprouts. No, this is Groninger's Brussels sprouts, which means that that is sprouting broccoli. So there's dazzling blue kale, Loculia Swiss chard, and crisp mint lettuce. So yeah, I'm going to actually move these so that they get more sun, like I said. So now it's been a couple weeks since I've last filmed, and the garden looks quite different, doesn't it? I still have quite a bit of work to do in here, but I'm getting there, making progress. Just dumping old plants that I've killed into here to help fill. I also took 5-gallon buckets and put it in a small trailer, pulled it behind the lawnmower from the compost bin and dumped it in here. The Brussels sprouts are doing great. And remember, I didn't plant nothing new in here. I have some sort of a volunteer right there, probably a pumpkin, I would imagine. And I gotta harvest basil again. And in fact, I gotta go inside and chop some of my dried basil up and put it in my little shaker jar. It looks like bugs tried to eat down the Brussels sprouts, but the Brussels sprouts, most of them, are growing anyway. So I'm going to transplant these plants out before they get too big for their pots. It's time to go in there And I do have some winter covers for these hoops, but I don't have the clips anymore. At least I'm missing a bunch of them, so I think I'm just gonna get some clothespins or something like that. It should work just fine. All right, guys, I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all done. All right, guys, so it's the next day and we're gonna come out here and look at the fall garden. What I got done so far. I still have a bit more work to do before I could get the rest of these planted. And the violas, the Johnny jump ups, I'm actually not going to be planting in here. I'm going to plant them somewhere else, but I'm considering part of it because, hey, it's just one oddball item. So I watered them in yesterday afternoon, and so the broccoli actually is starting to perk up a little bit. I think most of them are going to make it. I mean, they look happier overall in appearance. I mean, I could just tell. They look a bit more perkier and whatever. See? Starting to stand up. The lettuce still looks fantastic. The lettuce is going to be a trooper. And then, yeah, obviously my awesome Brussels sprouts. And I've got both Gronagers and Long Island improved in here. And I can't remember which side I planted which on. I don't even think I made a video about that. I might have. I'll have to go back and look. And then I got the Merlot Nero. That's what it is. Merlot Nero spinach planted here. It looks great. It was starting to get a little crispy along the edges. I think it's because it's a little hot, but it's not supposed to get above 85 the rest of the week. In fact, it's going to start getting low into the upper 30s before long. This is Swiss chard, and then that's perpetual spinach left over from the summer. I just kind of trimmed it up and planted scarlet kale along back there, and then I've got a little corner up here. I could put some of the other variety of Swiss chard right there if I want to. And I got to get some of these weeds cut back, and I'm going to put the beets in here with the herbs. I've grown beets in this spot before and they've done just fine, but I've got to get this weed cleaned back. It's from underneath the porch there behind the chicken wire. I don't know exactly how I'm going to attack it. Apparently there's a tree that needs cut down too. So might have to get a little hacksaw and crawl under there and have fun because it's not a very big opening underneath there. But I got lemon balm, summer savory, oregano, and English thyme in here, and I'm just going to let those just keep going, doing their thing and taking over. I wouldn't mind this just becoming a little herb bed eventually, but since there's still space in it, I'm going to plant other stuff in there besides herbs. I do have some dill. Maybe I could fit some dill in there too. We'll see. But yeah, everything's looking good so far. I still want to plant peas. I don't know if I'm going to be able to or not. I would like to ideally fill these pools up with more compost and plant peas there, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that this fall. Possibly in the spring I can do that. I'd like to plant some little marvels there. I think they would do great. All right, everybody. Thank you for stopping by and seeing my fall garden update. I'm excited. It's year number 3 here, and I'm finally getting a decent fall and winter garden started. So all this stuff takes time and money and work, and it doesn't happen overnight, that's for sure. Oh, those are my new kittens. That's Snarf, it's a female, and then that's her brother Walter, and they're loving little kitties. All right, everybody, I love you, and so does Jesus. God bless.